Welcome to the Deep Dive, where we help you cut through all the noise and get right to the good stuff.
Absolutely.
And today we're diving deep right into a study about Shatavari.
Okay.
And if you're not familiar, it's a plant used in traditional Indian medicine, and we're going to be talking about its potential to boost milk production in dairy animals.
Oh.
We're talking like real-world results here, folks.
Real world results. Yep.
That could have an impact on farmers and milk supplies and maybe even how we think about sustainable farming in general.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, so picture this. India,
Okay.
already a global leader in milk production,
Right.
but like everyone else, always looking for ways to meet that ever-growing demand, right?
Of course. Yeah.
Now, imagine a plant used for centuries in traditional medicine. That might hold the key to unlocking even greater milk production. It sounds a little like too good to be true, right?
It's certainly an intriguing
That's
premise.
it.
This 2008 research paper that we're diving into today takes that traditional knowledge about Shatavari and puts it to the test right there
Oh,
on actual farms.
wow.
With real animals.
And not just any animal.
No.
We're talking buffaloes and cows.
Exactly.
The backbone of India's dairy industry.
Mm-hmm.
This isn't some theoretical lab experiment. This is about understanding how Shatavari could impact things out there in the real world
Right.
with like actual results.
Exactly.
But before we get to the nitty-gritty of this study, can you tell us a bit more about this wonder plant, I guess?
Sure.
What exactly is Shatavari? What's the story there?
So Shatavari, scientifically known as Asparagus racemosus,
Okay.
is actually a type of asparagus
Cut out.
native to India and other parts of Asia.
Wow.
And you're right, it's not just some like random herb. It's got a rich history in traditional medicine. We're talking centuries of use for all sorts of things.
Right.
Digestive health, female reproductive health.
Wow.
It's even been touted as an aphrodisiac.
Talk about a multi-talented plant.
Right.
It really runs the gambit, I mean.
It does.
So it's not a huge leap to think that it could have some benefits for milk production, especially with all that traditional knowledge backing it up.
Exactly. And that's what makes this study so interesting. It bridges that gap between ancient wisdom and modern science, exploring whether Shatavari can really live up to its traditional reputation.
Interesting.
But what makes it even more fascinating is its potential impact.
Okay.
If this plant can truly increase milk production, we're not just talking about a small win for Indian farmers.
Right.
We're talking about a potential game changer in terms of global milk supply and food security in general.
Okay, now we're talking big picture stuff.
Exactly.
You've definitely got me hooked.
Okay.
So let's get into the details.
Okay.
How did they actually design this study to figure out if the Shatavari was really doing anything?
So they focused on 20 lactating animals, 10 buffaloes, and 10 crossbred cows.
Okay, so a good mix.
And this is where it gets really interesting. The animals were already 1 to 4 months into their lactation periods when the study started.
Oh, that's smart.
Yeah, because milk production naturally fluctuates over time, right?
Right.
They needed a clear baseline to compare against.
You don't want to mistake like a natural increase for the
Exactly.
the Shatavari working its magic.
You got it.
So they tracked these animals for a while, right?
They did for 20 days.
Okay.
They carefully recorded the average milk production before introducing the Shatavari.
Okay.
Then they mixed 50 grams of Shatavari root powder into the animal's feed daily for 60 days.
Wow.
And continued to monitor their milk output.
Okay, so they've got their baseline.
They got their baseline.
They've got the Shatavari. Now for the million-dollar question. Can it actually make a difference?
Drum roll, please. The results were pretty compelling.
Okay.
Both the buffaloes and the cows showed a noticeable increase in their daily milk production after they started the Shatavari.
Really? How much are we talking here?
For the buffaloes, we're talking an average increase of 0.8 kilograms per day.
Per day. But...
which is almost a 10% jump.
Wow. That's significant. What about the cows?
Get this. The cows saw an even bigger increase.
No way.
Averaging an extra 1.32 kilograms of milk per day.
Get out.
Yeah, which translates to a boost of nearly 13%.
Wow, those are some impressive gains. You know what they say. Happy cows, more milk?
That's right.
Or in this case, Shatavari cows, more milk. So if you average it all out, what was the overall increase across both the buffaloes and the cows?
Hold on to your hats. The overall average increase in milk production was a whopping 11.47%.
Wow. That's incredible. And remember, folks, this is just a 60-day study.
That's it.
Imagine if these results were to hold true over a longer period?
Exactly.
That's what I'm talking about. This could be huge for farmers.
Yeah.
But let's talk practically for a second.
Okay.
Did the study look into economics at all? I mean, even with the increased milk production, it's got to make financial sense for the farmers to actually, implement this.
Oh, for sure. And the researchers definitely considered that.
Okay.
They compared the cost of adding the Shatavari to the animal's feed
Right.
against the potential extra income from the increased milk production.
Okay, so what did the numbers say?
Well, according to their calculations,
Yeah.
supplementing with Shatavari led to a net income increase of about 7.49 Indian rupees per animal per day.
Per animal per day.
Okay.
Per animal per day.
Not too shabby.
Not too shabby at all.
Especially if it's, pretty easy to incorporate into a routine that they already have going on.
Exactly.
What about benefit cost ratio?
They crunched those numbers too?
Of course they did. Good researchers.
Of course they did.
Always thinking ahead.
Always thinking one step ahead.
So what'd they find?
The study found an overall benefit cost ratio of 1.3.30.
Okay, and for our listeners who might not be familiar with that ratio, break that down for us. Absolutely. So for every rupee spent on Shatavari, farmers potentially saw a return of over 3 rupees in extra milk profits.
Wow.
Talk about a solid investment.
That's a pretty compelling argument, I'd say.
I'd say so, too.
For incorporating this into their farming practices.
Yeah.
Now, I know this wasn't a massive multi-year study.
Right.
But it definitely feels like at least, a really strong starting point.
Precisely. And you know me, I always like to connect the dots to the bigger picture.
Yes. Yes.
This research isn't just about Shatavari and milk.
Right.
It raises some really fascinating questions about how we approach traditional knowledge, sustainable farming, even global food security.
Okay, I love where you're going with this.
Right.
So how does this research fit into that larger conversation? What kind of impact could it have?
Well, we're facing some big challenges when it comes to feeding a growing global population.
Of course, yeah.
We need solutions, sustainable solutions. And this research suggests that traditional knowledge, like using Shatavari, could hold some really valuable answers.
Interesting.
It's about looking to the past for inspiration and for innovation.
I love that. It's like that saying, what's old is new again.
Exactly.
But in this case, it's about, blending the old with the new to create a better future.
Yes, exactly.
I like it.
And we've only scratched the surface here.
Right.
This study focused specifically on milk production.
Right.
But what about Shatavari other potential benefits?
Oh, that's true.
Remember all those traditional uses we talked about?
Yeah.
Could there be even more to discover when it comes to animal health?
Oh, interesting.
Maybe even boosting their immune systems? Or improving their overall well-being?
Right.
That would be a real win-win.
For sure, for everybody involved.
Exactly, for the farmers and the animals.
Now that you mention it, I do remember you saying that Shatavari has, a long history in traditional medicine for people.
It does, yeah.
It makes you wonder if those benefits, could extend beyond animals, too.
Yeah.
What about, potential applications for human health?
Yeah.
It seems like a gold mine of possibilities, right?
You hit the nail on the head.
Just waiting to be explored.
Exactly. This research opens up a whole new world of questions and avenues for exploration.
Right.
And it really underscores how important it is to keep an open mind.
Oh, for sure.
To respect those traditional knowledge systems and to never stop investigating their potential.
It's a good reminder that sometimes the answers we're searching for have been right there under our noses all along.
I agree.
Well, folks, we've reached the end of our deep dive into the fascinating world of Shatavari and its potential to not only, revolutionize milk production, but who knows what else.
Who knows?
We explored some really intriguing research today. We crunched some impressive numbers, and we even pondered some bigger implications for sustainable farming and beyond. So if you're anything like me, you're probably buzzing with new insights and maybe even a few aha moments. So
it's definitely food for thought.
It is. It is what really stands out to you from all of this.
Honestly, I think it's the reminder that we don't always have to reinvent the wheel.
Yeah.
Sometimes the most impactful solutions come from taking a fresh look at ancient wisdom, right? And combining it with modern science. It's about bridging that gap and seeing what we can achieve together.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
There you go.
And who knows? Maybe this deep dive will spark an idea for your next big research project. So
you never know.
You never know where a little curiosity and a deep dive into the unknown might lead.
That's right.
Thanks for joining us on this journey of discovery, and we'll catch you next time for another deep dive into a topic that matters.
See you next time.
Until then, keep exploring.